Good afternoon, friends, followers, channel members. Hope everyone is well. We've got a beautiful afternoon flight, short but sweet. Flight time I think is something like 46 minutes, quite similar to yesterday's flight here when we came into Birmingham, but obviously daytime and beautiful weather and hardly a cloud in the sky here in Birmingham as we cross the Irish Sea and head over to Belfast, which is an interesting airport to approach into. More on that later. Oh, so great to see so many of you here. Hello, Dreeny, and oh, good lord, what's just happened to the luggage cart? Oh, what a great way to start. Well, I think he needs the sack. Hello, Chad. Hi, Dreeny, Danny, Barry Bartz, and Christian. Chris Hogg as well, Swedish AF. Lewis Aviation, good to see you too. Nick Burrows and Upon Bed, Darren Gunn. I can't stop laughing at that. I've seen some daft things in the sim, but that is wonderful. Let's get on board and start setting up, otherwise I'll just spend the entire stream not flying and just sat watching this. Is it going to crash again? Oh yeah, there he goes. Wow. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. Let's get on board, shall we? So, cold and dark setup today. Obviously, I expect this aircraft would not actually at this time of day be cold and dark, but you never know. Oh, he's still going for it outside the FO's window. So we'll ignore that. Just look the other way. Let's get the flight pad turned on. Batteries, external power. Let's get those packs off for a little bit of realism, shall we? Crew, ground control. Ideas. I know what I've not done. I should have done this before the stream started, so my apologies. Let's just reduce the fuel tanks down to something a tad more realistic. Get rid of the payload. There we go. That's better. Get those nav lights on. And all of the other overhead flows completed. We'll leave the fuel pumps off until refueling has commenced. Let's come down to get the current QNH here. We'll find that out from the tablet 1024. There's no VATSIM ATC at the moment. Never mind. Just have to wait for that to initialize. Give it 30 seconds. Anti-skid is on. I'll come back to that. I am a little pressed for time today, so I might not be doing completely realistic ops, but we'll go with it. Let's check the pedestal then. We're on Unicom, guard. Flight deck doors obviously still open. Switching panels good. Thrust levers, spoilers, flaps, engine masters. Parking brake is on. And let's get the transponder on. Squawking 2000. Let's come up to the glare shield. Then I know from just checking prior to the flight, 6,000 feet is going to marry our initial climb out. Let's get 1024 QNH flight directors 1 and 2 both on. Let's get some brightness on the displays. Not too bright though. HD is in the room. Hope he's got his aviators with him. We'll not turn the first officer's displays up, we'll leave those as is. Right, fuel. You guys have got the operational flight plan if you're watching on YouTube, that's pinned in there. So, I don't see any... What is this guy doing? I don't see any reasons or concerns getting into Belfast. Should be pretty straightforward. In fact, we're just going to go with 4.5 tons today, having checked that weather. So let's go ahead and tell them to start loading that up. And refueling is now underway. Let's get that APU on as well. We didn't do the overhead tests actually. Oh, I think they do need to mark that better. Otherwise, I always end up opening the guarded switch, and I don't want to do that. So APU 1, 2, 3, get that all started up. Whilst we're waiting for that, before we can start letting the passengers on board, let's come down and just connect everything up to SimBrief. And init data request. Try again. Doesn't always work first time. There we go, 48 minutes our flight time today. Let's check out the payload, request that. And the payload is just under 15 tons. Again, cross-check that against the OFP. That is correct, a zero fuel rate of 24.1. Sorry, I'm looking at this zero fuel rate CG. Thought, when I was reading that out, I thought that's incredibly low. Zero fuel rate 61.2. There we go, that's better. A headwind of 51 on today's flight. Let's start adding that weight to the aircraft. There we are. Alright, onto the data page. IRS, we have 3 nav green. Aircraft status, LEAP engines, so we've got the right engines in the database, valid AREC cycle, and let's use our ACARS uplink to get our route and everything in. So our alternate today is Dublin Echo India Delta Whiskey. Not often you'd find an EasyJet aircraft there. All the Ryanairs would gang up on it. Flight number today is Easy 919 Kilo. Again, this is a real world flight. You can check this one out on Flight Radar 24. I think it goes a little bit later on this afternoon. Cost index of 8, flight level 240 minus 32. All happy with that. The tropopause is 37,200 feet, so let's just go ahead and amend that. There we go. Flight plan then, we're expecting a departure from runway 33 out of Birmingham, and that is the Leuven 1 Mike departure. And then our destination arrival is the ILS Zulu runway 25. I've never landed on runway 25. Whenever we've come into Belfast, it's always been the opposite runway. No stars are available, but we do have the NDB available to us. Let me just grab that up because I forgot which one it is. It will be the is it the Aldergrove NDB? I think it is. Or actually, I don't know how this is going to be depicted in the McDo here. But the initial approach fix is 16 miles out from the Belfast VOR. Now, let's just have a little play. They're the only ones available. Ringer, Belfast. Let's see what this would look like. Let me just insert that for now, and then I'll go through and check out how this custom flight plan manager is doing that. clear that discontinuity as well as I'm doing it, might as well. So that looks interesting. That's most certainly not what I want to be flying. Let's just go ahead and see if we can tidy that up a little bit. So it's still going to be the ILS 25 Zulu, but let me just change the veer. There's two Belfasts there. Let me have a look, see if they make any difference. No, not really. They want to take me overhead. Right, well in that case, what happens if we select no veer? Okay, I think that's probably going to be more manageable, and then we can fly the DME Arc ourselves. DME Arcs are not yet available in this version of the aircraft, so let's just go ahead and try that again. So it still looks like it actually wants to take us over the Belfast VOR. Never mind. We will at this point be using the VOR, using raw data to fly the DME Arc. So that's okay. HD, did you just say check the call sign again? Let me just have a quick look. What did I pop in? Easy. Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. Easy 919 kilo. That's why you ask the PM to check the box, isn't it? Right, RadNav. What do we need on our departure? Let's get this set up. To be honest, I don't really think there's much required. We can pop in the Bravo Hotel X-Ray NDB in case we were returning here. That's going to be our holding point as well, should anything go wrong. So let's get that in. And also just going to pop in 146, just because that's the inbound radial for the holds if we had to use it at all. On to our init B page then. How's refueling? Yeah, refueling's all done. We'll get the bleed air on. We'll start getting those passengers on in a sec. In fact, I am going to skip just waiting a minute. I'm going to get those packs on. As I say, I am slightly pushed for time today, so I want to start getting those passengers on board sooner rather than later.
Refueling is underway and the bags are starting to get loaded, so let's open the doors and allow our passengers on board. Thank you.
So that trip wind, a headwind of 51, that's good and strong, isn't it? 3.6 and we're working with 4.4 tons of fuel on board, so plenty to go around. That's a takeoff weight of 65.4. I believe HD sent us the performance calculation, so I'll check that in a second. Alternate is well, it's actually just under a ton. Let's go with 1.1. HD, the 146 radial is the inbound track for the holding point from Bravo Hotel X-Ray if we needed it. Right, so that's an extra 13 minutes flying time. Onto the performance page. Transition altitude here 6,000 feet. Thrust reduction acceleration is 1339. It's going to round it up anyway, so I might as well do it for it. Oh, there we go. 1339. Flaps 1 for departure. And let's check out the real world performance calculations. So yeah, flaps 1, a flex of 63, and we've got V speeds of 133, 133, and 136. And green dot is 216 real world, 217 here in the sim. Anti-ice is off. Great stuff. Alright, HD, that is a good point. We don't want 146 in there, do we? We want 326 in there. Let's just go ahead and amend that on the fixes page. There we are. Okay, performance is all set. Now let me double check to see if we've got any ATC around. No, sadly no ATC. Never mind. Pop that back into Arc. And passengers are still boarding. I think now we can start looking at doing our briefing. So first of all, the weather. Beautiful, beautiful weather here in Birmingham, and a decent runway with ILS. No problems returning here should I have a problem after takeoff. We're also below the maximum landing weight as well, which is nice. Aircraft is the usual experimental build of the A320NX. TCAS is in op. That is the main thing, so again we need to try and remember that when levelling off or getting close to levelling off, no more than a VS speed of 1,500 feet. Hardly any no times at all affecting us today. In fact, none of them are affecting us today, just hardly any no times at all, full stop. Threats to be aware of. Well, Birmingham's quite nice, particularly on a day like today. Normally threats to be aware of, visibility from my personal experience here in Birmingham, is you can't actually see very much. But minimum safe altitude on our departure is 2,500 feet. There is a speed restriction, but it's the usual 250 feet. No turns below 840. Just need to be aware of that. An initial climb out is 6,000 feet. Let's chat about how we're doing the pushback and taxi. So we're at stand 55 right, so we're going to push back onto Victor, that's facing west, and then from there we'll take Victor and then Delta, and then I think it's Victor Delta Echo, is it? Yeah, Victor Delta Echo. And I just want to check that performance calculation again. HD, is that from Sierra 1 or is it from Echo 1? I didn't catch that. That's from Echo. Nice. So that's from Echo 1, which is going to be our holding point. Save us a bit of time in the taxi. On the takeoff, straightforward RNAV departure. As we've already briefed, no turns below 840 feet, and initial climb out is 6,000 feet. Note to ATC online, of course, so we'll clear ourselves higher than that as we get going. We have got a slight obstacle there, of course, 1,509 feet, as shown on the chart, but that really shouldn't affect us. Should be nice for those of you sat on the left-hand side of the aircraft, though, to have a look out over the city. Okay, so let's have a chat about the emergency brief. No ATC online, so if we have any problems during the taxi, I'll stop the aircraft and just make a quick call on Unicom, explain what's going on, see if we can fix the problem there, and if not, we'll have to return to the stand. On departure, any problems or warnings for 400 knots, I'll consider stopping. After 100 knots, going up to V1, I will only stop for the uninhibited ECAM warnings, cautions, engine fire or failure, with or without thrust loss, or if I think the aircraft's just completely unsafe to fly. If I make that decision, then we shall call go or stop. If it's stop, we'll then set max traverse, keep the aircraft nice and straight on the runway, and I'll use manual braking if auto braking isn't stopping us as well as I think it should. If we've had an engine fire warning as well, I will also try and attempt to point the aircraft into the wind. Once coming to a stop, we'll stow the reverser, set the parking brakes, and check the ECAMs and any fault lights. Establish the cause of the failure, and once we've established that cause, we'll complete the ECAM drills and vacate the runway. Of course, if it was something serious like a engine fire warning, then we'd need to consider running the evacuation checklist. Failure after V1, though, we're committed to getting the aircraft into the air. If we have an engine failure, we'll fly using a standard technique, 12.5 degrees pitch, and then follow SRS using rudder to counteract any yaw. Once the aircraft has a positive rate of climb, then I can get the gear up, trim out the yaw, pop on the autopilot. We'll pull the heading bug nice and early so we don't make that initial turn, which is in the SID. It's a standard engine out procedure here, so we'll just keep on nice and straight, and at 1,900 feet we'll make a left turn back towards the Bravo Hotel X-Ray NDB. The inbound track is 146 and the hold is right turns. We'll not confirm anything until we get above 400 feet. After that, then we'll start looking at the ECAM and running any drills that we need to. Once that engine is secure and we're above the single engine acceleration altitude, we'll push the level off, accelerate, retract flaps on schedule, then a green dot will go up and climb, set maximum continuous thrust. Once we've got above our initial climb altitude, as I say, is 1,900 feet in an engine out. Once we get there, then we'll make the turn to Bravo Hotel X-Ray. Left turn. When we're in the hold, we'll then decide what we're going to do. Continue, return, or divert. Right then. Let's have a look, see how we're doing with the passengers. Passengers are nearly all there. And we've got the aircraft now powered under its own power, so we can say goodbye to our external power.
Hi Gavin, all the passengers are on board and we're ready to go. I'll bring you a cup of tea after we've taken off.
Great stuff, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck this morning, let me welcome you on board this EasyJet aircraft as you settle in for what we hope is going to be a most enjoyable flight. The weather today doesn't look to be posing much of a problem, so we should have a nice smooth ride for you throughout the duration of the flight. And as the cabin crew continue making their last preparations, if you could please assist them by getting yourselves sat down, your seatbelts fastened, and make yourselves nice and comfortable. The ground crew have now finished loading the aircraft, and we're just about finished with all our pre-flight checks, so it won't be long until we are pushing back. If you could please give the cabin crew your full attention as they go through the safety briefing, we'd very much appreciate it. So on behalf of myself and the First Officer, we'd like to say thank you for choosing EasyJet today, and we look forward to giving you a safe flight.
With AIG Manager, it is so great doing virtual plane spotting. Is that sad? Come on, admit it. How many of you guys do the same thing? Right. One other thing I'm going to do nice and early is we'll brief this perhaps in a little bit more detail later, but from the approach point of view, we've got a 12.9, I can't type that in the sim, it doesn't let me, we'll call it 13 miles. We've got a 13 mile Dme Arc to fly from IAG. Now, I don't know if it's going to allow us to pop that in the fixed page. I bet it's not. Is it? So we're going to have to do that. I was going to pop that in the fixes page and let us fly the DME Arc, which you see on the navigation display. That would have been quite nice, but because it's based, the Arc is based off the ILS DME and not the Belfast VOR, then I can't pop that in there. That was my initial plan. That's quite upsetting. Would have been nice to have that on there, but we could always try. Oh, HD's beat me to it. Let's just have a look and see if we can pop in. Let's see. D12. This is where we have to count, isn't it? Delta 127 Papa. Will it accept that? 192 miles away. That doesn't sound too off. So if we pop that in there and pop that radial of 13 miles, let's just have a look and see if it's put a ring around it for us. would you know, it has done. Oh, fantastic. Well done. Oh, no, it's not. What has it done there? Oh, I know what it's done there. That's me not paying attention. So I've put a radial in there. I wanted 13 miles. Let me just clear that out. Let me pop the next one in, which was Delta 077N. Delta 077N.
Birmingham traffic, Shamrock 15 Whiskey with a taxi by Victor Delta Echo Sierra and hold at holding point Sierra 1 for runway 33.
Ah, there we go. So they're now both on there and showing. We just don't have an arc around it. But that certainly helps us with regards to our something visual on the navigation display. And of course we can fly a DMA arc using the raw data of the ILS, but we'll get that sorted once we're in the air.
Cabin crew, we're all ready to go. Use on the doors and cross check. Thank you.
Okay, so let's do the before start checklist then, shall we? So our cockpit preparation is complete. Signs are on and auto. ADIRS 3 nav green. Fuel quantity is 4460 kilograms and balanced. FMGS is set. Altimeter is 1024. Okay, are we on Unicom? I think we are. Yeah. So we'll just make a call to other traffic around us. Let's just have a quick look to see if we've got any other traffic around us. There we are. Oh, look at that. A lovely Neo livery. HD, we can insert those waypoints in the flight plan after IPSET. Then it will create the pseudo DME arc. Great stuff. Tell you what, should we do that now rather than faffing around in flight? Let's try it. So, yeah, rather than Belfast, I could probably clear the Belfast out, couldn't I? So, after IPSET, that waypoint will be Delta 127 Papa. And then after Delta 127 Papa, shame I have to scroll all the way down after that. After Delta 127 Papa, it's going to be Delta 077 November. Oh, I put Mike in. Go back. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that is right. Now let me just clear out Belfast, because we don't need that.
Birmingham traffic, Shamrock 15
That
Whiskey line at runway 33.
should do us. There you go. We can see that there. Insert. Now let's double check that again. There we go. So it's not a perfect arc, obviously, but it's a much nicer flight plan. This, I'm not quite sure what's going off just there, but yeah, we can work with that. Okay, there that is, and the isn't the ILS already in HD? I've not deleted that, have I? Hang on. Yeah, it's not going to make any difference. It's still going to have that strange squiggle just there. Okay, I'll erase that for now. There we go. Right, I think we're about ready to push back. Birmingham traffic easy 919 kilos, stand 55 right, pushing back facing west. Let's call our pushback tug.
Cockpit to ground. This is ground. Stand by.
We'll get the beacon light on. High pressure is in the green. Set the transponder on to standby.
Birmingham traffic, Shamrock 15 Whiskey, rolling on 33 from the number 1 Mike departure.
So thanks to all the guys as well that have been liking the stream on Facebook. We are streaming to Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube today.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed. The parking brakes are set. You may lift. Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
So whilst he's just lifting the aircraft, let's run the before start checklist below the line.
Standing by for pushback.
Windows and doors are closed and armed. Beacon light is on. Mobile phone is on silent, and parking brake is on. Okay, we are ready to push back. Final check behind us because we've no ATC. No one in our way. Let's go.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead. We are cleared for start and push. Parking brakes set. Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake. Parking brakes are released. Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence. Yeah, we'll start in the sequence.
I think that always starts far too quickly. I'm sure I've just seen the shadow of Dark Fury's aircraft fly over us on the glare shield. How neat. So, engine mode selected to start, and starting engine 1. I always have to check the bleed air is on. Nick, will I stick with IAG? I think so, given the amount of time it took to get it all up and running, and the fact that the VMR file that I've got at the moment seems to be working beautifully. I see no reason not to.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board.
18JM, thank you for following on
Your seatbelt is
Twitch.
fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist. Click together and pull the strap to adjust.
All we need now is a good
Do
pushback
not
mod.
inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside,
One that does it
inflate on
automatically,
pulling the
preferably.
If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. We also carry flotation aids for children. Your tray table must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight
Okay,
with
pushback
EasyJet.
completed. Please set your parking brake. Parking brakes set. Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
Starting engine 2.
Ground startup is complete. You may disconnect. Roger. Good engine start. Clear to disconnect. See you at the side. Have a good flight. Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
So yeah, IAG does, or AIG, I keep calling it IAG. AIG is absolutely fantastic, but it does take a long time to get up and running. If you can do what I did, which basically I just installed stuff whilst I was working on my other PC, then it was great. It was done within, as I say, it was about 4 or 5 hours start to finish. But really nice. I mean, look at that. You've got the all the different liveries. I've seen about 8 different EasyJet liveries. So many different aircraft. It's brilliant. Right, engine 2 is now up and running. Let's do the after start flows. Engine mode selector to normal. APU bleed, master APU off, anti-ice is not required. Spoilers, rudder, flaps 1, set the trim. And after start checklist, anti-ice not required. Ecam status is checked. Pitch trim is 24.6. Rudder trim is 0. Flight control check. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Full up. Full down. Neutral rudder. Full right. Rudder. Full left. Neutral. Pushback is clear. Birmingham traffic easy 919 kilo, taxiing to holding point Echo 1 via Victor Delta Echo for runway 33. Taxi light on and release parking brake. Christian, if ever you have a dog, you're going to call him PTU. You could at least give him a full name and just use those as the initials. Bless him. Right, let me just double check my ground chart so I know where on earth we're going. I think I know where we're going, but better safe than sorry. Handcrafted airports mean I know we've got good taxi signs. So we're now going left here on to Delta. What a great airport. Micro Simulations have done a great job with this, haven't they?
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
And then we continue down on Delta, and we bear right in a moment on to Echo. I think actually, first of all, we don't take this right. This takes us. Well, we could take this right onto Echo. Let's just carry on. Delta basically turns into Echo a little bit later on if we keep on this track. Whilst we're doing that, let's do the PEDS check. So performance hasn't changed. It's still going to be a Flex 63. QNH is still 1024. Engine out procedure is standard 1900 feet. Left turn to Bravo Hotel X-ray holding point. Inbound track is 146. Departure matches what we have in the FMGC. Stop altitude is 6,000 feet. We'll just get on our way down here, then we'll run the before start checklist to the line. So flight controls are checked, departure briefing is confirmed, flap setting is config 1 checked, and FMA and takeoff data 133 blue, 136 magenta, climb nav blue 1, FD2, 6000 magenta, and Flex 63. Transponder is set, ECAM memo, takeoff, no blue, flight bag is stowed.
Cabin crew, seats for takeoff, please.
Eric, thanks for subscribing on YouTube. Really do appreciate all the likes, shares, and of course those of you that subscribe. I feel like I'm now climbing uphill to this runway. Do you know what? We've actually gone the wrong way. We're now going via Sierra 1. It's okay. Performance data is still valid. There's the Cat 2-3 holding point, and we're coming up on Sierra 1 just now. I feel like I'm driving over the roots of trees. Very bumpy. There we go. Right, so let me just check those wheel temperatures. That's not coming up automatically. They're fine. Brake temperatures are fine. The approach path looks clear. Let's get our lights on and then we'll line up. Birmingham traffic, easy 919 kilo, lining up runway 33 for departure to the north. So we've got the strobes, the landing lights, nose lights are on, and transponder, TCAS, PAX. Okay, let's roll ourselves gently onto the active, and before takeoff, checklist below the line. Cabin is secured, engine mode selector is normal, TCAS, TARA, PAX are off, anti-ice off. Okay, looking good. Looks like we're ready to go. And start the chrono, or restart it. 7 minutes. I didn't start the pushback timer. Never mind. Alright, so takeoff. Start the chrono. Set 50% M1. Set takeoff thrust. And flex SIS runway.
Check.
V1, rotate. Wind there as well as we came up.
Positive ring.
That's nav.
Gear up.
Gear is up. No turns below 840. There we go. Autopilot 1 engaged. Coming up on thrust reduction. Thrust climb. Open climb. Pack 1 back on. And if you recall from the briefing, there's no speed restriction, so we can just accelerate away. Clean up as we go. Pack 2. About to pass S-speed. Thank you Josh and Robert on YouTube for subscribing. Welcome on board. S-speed. Flap 0. Spoilers disarmed. Ding the cabin. And with no ATC around, let's go ahead and climb all the way to our cruising altitude today, flight level 240. So let's set 240, 240 blue. Pop the anti-ice on now as we start to fly through this cloud layer. And as takeoffs go, that's my kind of takeoff. Very little happening on departure. So as I said a little bit earlier, the flight time today is about 48 minutes. We'll be on the ground in less than an hour. Not very heavy today either. That's a great climb rate, 4,000 feet per minute. And
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes.
that cloud layer obscuring Birmingham. Okay, we're passing 10,000 feet. We can get rid of the anti-ice now. That's not needed. Get the lights off as well. Go down, clear the RadNav page out. And on the fixes page we can get rid of the first fix we had in there, which is Bravo Hotel X-ray. And yeah, no issues climbing to our cruise altitude today. Nice and low. Flight over 240. That looks great. I think by default it was turned on. I should probably turn it off if you want it to be slightly more realistic. You can turn down the sound of it as well, I think, so you could maybe just vaguely hear it rather than it being quite dominant as it was just then. So, given how light we are, a little danger there, given that TCAS is in up. Look at the rate of climb at the moment. At about 10,000 feet, we want to be making sure, well, no, less than 10,000 feet, in probably about 8,000 feet. We can just probably set the VS to 1,500 feet per minute. And happy now to release the passengers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has now turned off the seatbelt sign and you are now free to move around the cabin. We do recommend, however, when in your seat, that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. The toilets are now available. Please contact a member of the you require assistance. Thank you.
Chad, would I fly any other Airbus aircraft? Oh yes, definitely. I like Airbus. They're easy compared to Boeing. Not easy, but I just think everything's more ergonomic. Now, given the short flight time, whilst we're monitoring that climb, let's just go ahead and get some weather. So we have it there. Leonardo, if you can't find the Troppo, the chances that you don't have the EasyJet operational flight plan layout selected on SimBrief. On mine it's located, as you're probably familiar if you've watched regularly, on the top right hand side. Is the top banner bar not working? Oh, apologies for that. Don't worry too much about it. You can see everything on screen. What do we have then waiting for us in Belfast? We have winds 240 at 12. That's nice. Overcast 4,800 feet. Temperature is 9 degrees. QNH 1021. J-Hug, afraid I'm not around this afternoon, I'm afraid. That's why we're getting an early afternoon streaming. So we'll just give it another 1,000 feet or so, then we'll reduce the climb rate. So let's now go ahead and select a climb rate of 1,500 feet per minute. There we go, speed 1,500 feet. The reason we're doing that is because TCAS isn't working. Hey Barry, hope to catch us before the landing. I hope so too, which should be in only a little over half an hour. Manny, no, not really any at the moment. Flex temp is a bit of a pain, to be honest with you. Unless you've got real world figures available, of course. So looking to start levelling off there now. Flight level 240, our cruising altitude is about reached. Alt star. And Alt cruise. Lovely. Sadly, not too much time for sightseeing on this flight. Short flight, short sector. So lots to do. We're going to start talking about the approach as well shortly. Right guys, at our cruising altitude, and we'll, as I say, start to have a look at the at our approach brief in a moment.
invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. A reminder that our EasyJet Sim pilot members are able to take advantage of free drinks throughout the duration of the flight. Thank you, and we shall have an update for you shortly.
So I'm just setting up the RadNav page, and then we'll explain how we're going to do the approach. Got to love daytime streams. Lewis Aviation, you've been a member for 7 months now. Wow, Lewis, thanks so much for your support during that time. Hope we've given you many hours of entertainment whilst you've been injured and recuperating. Oh, wow. So, we are currently 154 miles from Belfast. And if we use the flight plan page, we can see we've got 188 track miles to fly. Let's have a little chat then about how we're going to do this. So we are going to come in and fly this DME Arc around to get ourselves established on the localizer. But before that, you can see that we come in first of all by IPSET if you've got the operational flight plan. So it's going to be IPSET, and then from IPSET that takes us to this Delta 127 Papa waypoint, and we've got that as shown in the flight plan. Let's just hang on, zoom in on this a little bit as we scroll through. There we go. Now looks a little skew-whiffed at the moment, but the main thing is the flight plan is all there and accurate. So by Delta 127 Papa, that is 15 miles out. Well, then realistically, if we can be at about, I know we've got some track miles to fly, but from if we can be not really any lower than, I would say, 5,000 feet at this point. I'm going to be 5,000 feet at this point. After we leave there, then we can get down to 4,000 feet. Now, as I approach the initial approach fix here, I'd like to be at green dot by this point. Green dot here, descending 4,000 feet, get flaps 1 out, and then after passing Delta 077 November, we can then get flaps 2 out to get us on the glide slope as well. A quick check of the horizontal profile of that will show us as well. Platform altitude is 2,500 feet, and the weather is well above Cat 1, runway visual range 550 meters, so it's not going to be an auto land. Decision altitude is 468. Platform altitude 2,500. Minimum safe altitude as we're coming in is 3,500 feet. And we should pass quite close to Belfast City Airport as well. So no stars here. No stars. Oh, actually, why have I only just seen that now? That is a 14-mile DME arc from Belfast. Right. Why am I only just seeing that? Keep telling you I'm blind. So, if we now pop that in, and pop a radial ring, what was it, 14 miles? There we go. So we should now, if I scroll through the flight plan, hopefully see, there it is. Yeah, and they match up quite nicely between these two waypoints. So that's basically the arc that we can fly. Now, what have I got on the RadNav page? Set up, I've got on the RadNav, we've got Belfast on VOR2. That's just so that I've got some distance information, so I know how far we are away. VOR1, we've actually got the ILS frequency, and the reason for that is because then I could use the VOR pointer to fly this DME Arc. And then we've obviously got the ILS frequency in the ILS field, and then NDB, we've got Oscar Yankee, which is Aldergrove NDB. Missed approach is quite straightforward. It's a continuous climb to 3,000 feet, initially straight ahead to 2,500 feet, and then a right-hand turn back to the VOR. We hold at 3,000 feet or as directed. What I'd tend to do if that was the case, if we could just fly over the VOR and come back in and around to make a second attempt. Well, we wouldn't go that way, would we? We'd follow the procedure and fly out 053 to come in and make that second attempt. HD asks, using your estimated speed, at what distance would you start the turn to get on the arc? Oh, this is a maths question, isn't it? Maths in the middle of a Wednesday afternoon. Christian, there is a rule of thumb for that, and I'm quickly searching my brain to see if I can remember it. And I think it's gone. HD is going to come in and save my backside in a sec with that. So the question again, with the estimated speed, at what distance would you start the turn on the green dot? Oh, sorry, to start the turn to get on the arc, rather. Well, it's going to be a 90 degree, and it's what is it? The formula is, HD is going to correct this, the formula is how many, you can work out how many miles it's going to take you to make a 180, but you're not going to make a 180, so you only want half of that. I've just forgot the first part of the formula, HD. Christian's there with his pad and pencil out. Let me hear more. Go on, HD, throw us a bone. Christian, no, it's not for 90 degree angles. The formula HD is going to give us is for making a full 180 degree turn. But then once you know that, of course, you just halve it, because we're only doing 90 degrees. As I say, I've just forgotten the first half of the equation to which I'm referring. 1% of the ground speed. There it is. Delta 127 Papa. Just popping that in there, because I said I wanted to be at 5,000 feet by this point. So we're going to lose, what height we're going to lose? Start at about 60 miles away. We've got a great headwind slowing us down as well. 60 miles away. 1% of the ground speed is the turn radius. There you go. So if green dot is 200 knots, that's a diameter of around 2 miles. So 90% is half of that, which is 1 mile. So start the turn about 1 mile before the arc. Christian, it is really simple. You just forget them. So many tricks of the trade, so many things you can forget. Have we got any land around us, or is that it? We've left Liverpool.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase a selection of hot beverages, together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
I can see land. Land ahoy! HD says that's how clever you have to be a pilot. Tong very in cheek there. It's the memory that you need. All the mathematical formulas are straightforward and easy. You just need the memory. I've just remembered I made a cup of tea this morning in my thermal flask. So this was made at 9:30. It's now the perfect temperature. Ronald, good morning from Chicago. Hope you're well. So we're going to start our top of descent around 60 miles away. That wind's going to help slow us down. We've got about 20 miles to go before we begin that descent. Down to 5,000 feet. We're just checking as well, we haven't got any ATC online where we're going. No, sadly not. Christian, if you say land ahoy, you better turn on the ditch mode. Yeah. Dwile, there's not that many people on board today, so they'll get that cabin service easily up and finished. Everyone just wants alcohol anyway. I mean, we're going to Ireland. Granted, it's Northern Ireland, but still. Oh, HD, I'm using that. I deliberately don't listen to the wife or try to remember anything she says so as not to push out useful stuff out of my brain that I need for work. That is the greatest line ever. I'm going to get a smack later today, thank you to you. Gamer Beast, hello. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you're enjoying the afternoon flight. Please, if you can, do hit like on the stream. Makes a huge difference to the channel. And if you are new, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notifications bell so you don't miss any future flights and content. Sim update 7 or 8? 7, isn't it? Will be coming later this week. That will be fun. Hey Mark, hope you're well. Christian asks, have you told that to her face? And HD says she already knows it. She hasn't bothered you for a year with anything important. Well, that's just because sadly you've been sat with your feet up for a year. Simfreak YouTube, thank you so much for following us on Twitch. Lewis, do I know what the next flight would be? Lewis, I didn't know what this flight would be until about half an hour before I thought, oh, I've got time to fly one. I'm not that organised, you see. I'm really not.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck once again, you will be delighted to hear that we will shortly be starting our descent into our destination, at which point the cabin crew will start preparing for our arrival. If you could please make sure that all the aisles are clear, the cabin crew are able to make their way around the aircraft without any luggage in the aisles, that would be most appreciated. A reminder for our EasyJet and SimPilot members that free drinks are still available from the cabin crew until the seatbelt signs are turned on. Please note, however, that the toilets will shortly go out of use. Thank you.
Crazy Ivan 01, welcome to the First Officers Club. Thank you so much for your support, my friend. That really is very much appreciated and very kind of you. Thank you for becoming a member. Make sure you hit us up in the Discord channel as well if you are on our Discord. If not, get yourself on there and we'll get you into the Members Club. Right, how far are we away? That's it. I want to start that descent. I want to go all the way down to 5,000 feet. So we're going to set ourselves up. FCU's done, and we're going to set the local pressure as well. 1021. Thrust idle, open descent, and 5,000 blue. QNH is set. Down we go. Final thing to have a look at as well, which should be straightforward, but we On landing, we're not going to get off at Bravo. We've got no chance. I didn't see in the note times that runway 1735 was still closed and being used as a taxiway or anything like that. I think it was at one point. So we're going to roll all the way to the end, get off at Delta 1, backtrack our way through. Auto brake low. Is that? LuckyMan79 on Twitch asks, what's my Santa wish list this year? Oh, for a clean house. In fact, if Santa could just bring me a cleaner, that'd be great. I don't have time to do such things anymore. I could still use 17 for taxi. Oh, well, there we go. Unless I hear anything to the contrary on Unicom, that will be the plan. Crazy Ivan, do get yourself on Discord. It's a great community built up by many of the people that are here in the chat with us today. Tell you what we haven't done. Got the weather information. It would actually be useful if we put it in, wouldn't it? What was that temperature? 9 degrees. And the wind, 240 at 12. Transition altitude is 6,000 feet. And decision altitude is 468. There we go. So if we get slightly below the profile a bit early doors, that's okay. I don't mind that because we've got to level off as we get towards 5,000 feet. Dave Hudson, it's a typical middle-aged man Christmas answer. It is. You know, before the kids came along, I used to have a show home. Not anymore. We've just passed Matut. What fuel should we have? I'm only checking because I've seen the outer tank crossfeed come up. We should have about 2.345, about 2.5, between 2.4 and 2.5. What have we got? Oh, 2.8. Oh, loads. So as HD mentioned earlier, we can probably, although we've got everything primed to fly a full DME arc, we can just let the autopilot do its thing. Not quite sure what's going on here. This may all change as well as we slow down. Speaking of which. There we go, we've got about 10,000-11,000 feet to go. 39 miles. Nice. So it's midweek. I hope everyone is having a really good Wednesday. It's that hump in the middle of the week, isn't it, for everybody who's working? If I could do this full time for you guys, I would. I love doing it. And you guys all make it fun. And the fact that many of you now have been watching for so many months means that I essentially have about 140 PM, so I know that if I miss anything, one of you guys is going to catch it. Just as in real life. Christian, there's some great Echo Delta Delta Papa. Oh, go on. Which German airport's that? See it on flightsim.to for free. And Azoba will have a handcrafted scenery with the update, also free. Why are people buying payware now a few weeks before that? Oh, on FlightSim. Ah, that's not payware then, is it? Yeah, I see. Storm UK is doing a course on radiation via Microsoft Teams. Watching me fly is making it variable. Approach checklist minimums 468. Set engine mode selector as normal. Flight bag EFB. Sorry, EFB is stowed. Try doing 4 sectors 4 days in a row. If I could make it profitable, then I would. Sadly, real world gets in the way. Christian, it's Leipzig. Thank you. Don't think there's anything in that flight plan that's causing any daft lines. It's just the flight plan transition. It's not quite working, but it's okay. Just keep that progress screen up nicely below the profile. Remember, we're going to level off. I want to be green dot here, 5,000 feet. Thomas, oh, that's probably one of the nicest things anyone's ever said on stream. Thanks so much. HD, you're not sure 4 sectors is ever profitable. It's certainly not for fatigue or sanity. Those standby days, you don't want to get called in, do you? 10,000 feet. Lights on. Slow that aircraft down to 250 knots. And quick check. Yeah, a little cloud coming up. What's that temperature doing? It's borderline. While the green dot is the best lift to drag ratio speed. So we can see we're now 20 miles away, and I can just slow us down a little bit. Speed 1,500 feet. That's for TCAS reasons. When I go manage speed and mump to get us to green dot, I need to remember that we don't want to maintain VS mode because, well, we shall not slow down. Green dot speed is calculated by the FMGC, so you don't have to do any maths for that one. Okay, so we've got managed speed and thrust idle open descent. I've got managed speed, I haven't activated the approach phase. Duh. Glad we did that sooner rather than later. I'm thinking, why aren't we slowing down? Why aren't we slowing down? Why aren't we? Oh yeah! That would be why.
Cabin crew, about 15 minutes to landing. Giving prepare the cabin, thank you.
That's not something you'd ever do, is it, HD? So everything we briefed is looking good. We're now at green dot. We're getting down to 5,000 feet. by this waypoint here. Slow that descent rate down. We're quite far out actually. About 3 minutes away. So we'll just have a nice steady VS speed, 300 feet per minute. Almost a landing rate, that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed, armrest down, and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
So we're just going to keep an eye on how this flight plan looks to fly this next sector. Belfast traffic, easy 919 kilo, passing 5,500 feet, currently 8 miles from the start of the DME arc for runway 25 approach. Just check we're on Unicom actually. I don't want to be broadcasting to nobody. After we leave here we can get down to 4,000 feet. We get flaps 1 out as well. Get that landing system on. And as we can see now, all the information is already available to us. As we go flaps 1, we'll set speed of 180. What was our flight time? I think it was 48 minutes. We've been airborne for 40. I think we'll be on the ground in 8 minutes. We shall see. Alt star. So that right hand turn will begin momentarily. What's the temperature doing? Just looking at the anti-ice. There it is. Okay, so let's get ourselves down to 4,000 feet and no need to go down too quickly. 500 feet per minute is fine. 4,000 blue. Now we're still 15 miles out at the moment, so should have a nice, decent length final to become established. Looks like it's actually going to fly a semi-nice arc all on its own, doesn't it? Which is nice. The arc should have been at 14.9. No, it shouldn't, that's a lie. It should have been 12.9. So, yeah, that's not bad at all. Now, we can't get down to any lower until we pass Delta Oscar 77 November, which is just here. Let's start configuring. Flaps 1, speed checked. Flaps 1. HD, what a good idea to put those waypoints in. Uma, you want a replay after the landing? Well, we can try it. I've not done it for a while. Let's hope we don't get a CTD now, shall we? Yeah, I was just looking at that HD. We might want to just keep this in heading mode. Otherwise, I think it's going to be an interesting turn onto the ILS. So let's pull that now, and let's start thinking about what I should have done is extended the runway centerline. I'd have been able to see that quite nice then. Right, we're in heading mode at the moment. Let's
All
just
go traffic, Shamrock 303 on a 6 mile final runway 25.
6 mile final for runway 25. That's okay, we're not going to get in his way. Interesting that we can't get down any lower until we've passed this particular waypoint. To be honest, I see no reason why we couldn't just make the turn now and start that descent. I'm sure if ATC were online, that's what they'd tell us to do. So, minimum safe altitude in this sector. Hang on, let me just check something. Yeah, excellent. We can get down to 3,000 feet, so let's do that now. Minimum safe altitude is 3,000 feet from where we are now, so let's go. We've got speed, open descent, 3,000 blue. No need to rock us down too quickly. What's our ground speed? 187. Okay. And let's start making that left turn. That should give us a nice intercept. We'll keep an eye on that glide slope as well. And we shall start configuring then. So approach mode, autopilot 2, alt glide slope blue, lock blue, cat 3 dual, autopilot 1 and 2.
2,500.
Radar altimeter is alive. And 11 miles. So we're above MSA at 3,000 feet. We can see the ground anyway, so we're good. Just in that light cloud layer at the minute. Flaps 2, speed checked. Flaps 2, lock star. We'll hold 180 knots. Belfast traffic, easy 919 kilo, establishing runway 2510 miles. So I have set up the replay as well, so we'll check the replay out in a few minutes once we've landed, hopefully safely. It did say it was overcast a little earlier on, didn't it, on the METAR? So this is quite nice. We just need to get down and below. There we are. Glide slope start. Missed approach altitude is 3,000 feet. That is set.
And all the go traffic, Shamrock 303 vacated 25.
Runway is clear. 7 miles out. Let's just ding that cabin.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Six miles out, let's start getting configured. So landing gear down, spoilers are armed. Flaps 3, speed checked. Flaps 3 and speed. And flaps full. Landing checklist. Cabin secured for landing. Auto thrust. Speed. Go around altitude 3000 set. ECAM memo. Landing. No blue. Can anybody hear First Officer George? I don't think he wants to land. Bless him. Keep an eye on that wind. It's a nice headwind looking at this today. Now, I've just seen some traffic depart. I didn't hear those on Unicom, so that's interesting. 1,000 feet. Belfast traffic, easy 919 kilo. Established 3 mile final, runway 25. Autopilot disconnected. I have control. Headwind just blowing us off centerline ever so slightly. It's not a true headwind, of course. Let's get us back on there.
$500.
500 feet, approach stable.
$400.
Keep that touchdown zone where it is.
300. 100 above.
Centerline's looking okay at this point.
$200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Slight overflare there, I think. Spoilers deployed. Reverse green. Decel. $70 knots, reverses off, disconnect the auto brake.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your EasyJet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or EasyJet app.
Belfast traffic, runway 25 vacated. It's been a while since I've been to this airport. I updated the freeware mod from flightsim.to not long ago. This is looking really nice. Very nice, in fact. Oh, where to park, where to park. just slow our aircraft down a little bit whilst I get the radios all off. Ah! That's why you've usually got someone looking out of the window. Let's go next to our companies, shall we? And then we'll watch the replay. So don't disappear too soon. Fly with Cat X, I am using no, I'm not. I'm using AIG. And we've just run over that GPU. So again, another freeware airport, which is really, really neat. Nigel Burr, that little house is actually the Belfast VOR. Really? Christian, I wasn't in a turn. I was, well, I was meant to be straight. Clearly, I wasn't straight enough. Right, let's check out the replay then, guys. One of my favourite parts of flying. So I'm not going to set the parking brakes or anything like that. Just before we go any further, we're going to turn those off. Yeah, we're going to leave the parking brakes off, leave the engines running. We'll say goodbye to those of us who flew on VATSIM with us during today's flight. That was really nice to have you guys on board, and some great models as well. The 321. That's not a 321. That's a 320. I thought that was a 321 that you were that was for some reason flying. HD. I'm sure you said that was a 321, but never mind. Right, let's check out the replay, shall we? So, let's just stop the recording of the replay, and then let's load and see what happens. Hopefully the sim won't crash. Though we may get a few alarms. Oh, and self-loading cargo passengers have just been transported through time and space. I forgot about that. They're off, so that's okay. Let me now just skip forward a little bit. There we go. Oh, it's recorded it with flappy wings. I thought I'd managed to fix this problem. Is there any view we've got that doesn't give flappy wings? There, just ignore the wind. Yeah, if we look there, it doesn't matter too much. Dr. Magic, you're too busy trying to download AIG liveries when you should be working. Yeah, that's what I spent yesterday doing. Or the day before, rather. Oh, was the 321 going to Dublin? Ah, okay. Not someone. Well, I must admit, when you said it was a 321, I thought, that can't be anyone flying with us, because the 321 doesn't exist, does it, in Microsoft Flight Simulator? Then I remembered there is a freeware mod, I think, of a 321. I don't know how good it is. So we'll just enjoy the replay of this flight. That looks incredibly slow, doesn't it? Oh, Joshua, thanks for that. Don't do a replay when you're still on VATSIM. Good spot, Josh. Christian, I thought I had updated the replay app. It must be another update that I've missed. Students, enjoy the voice. If you're talking about the cabin calls and things like that, they're from Self-Loading Cargo. 777, you've downloaded my VMR files. They're working well for you? Hope so. Speaking about flappy wings, did anyone see the experiment that Airbus did recently, flying two A350s in sort of duck-like formation over the Atlantic? great in theory, but how would you actually do that practically with a host of different aircraft and airlines? The coordination required for that would be immense. Saved fuel though. And Christian, yeah, tomorrow we should have an in-game replay tool. I wonder. How's that going to work? Student today, yes, I have self-loading cargo. Yeah, there's something wrong with this replay, because this replay is painfully slow. Barry, sadly you're not back before the landing. This is a replay of the landing, but it's not very realistic. I think HD says don't fancy formation flying for 8 hours. Well, you don't do it, dear. It's all linked by computer. A bit like now there's cars, isn't there, which you can turn on a sort of distance tracker to the car in front, and when they slow down, your car slows down. It's all linked. Well, something similar happens with the aircraft. Elliot, I can move the camera in this wing view just because it is a custom view. I have never seen wind turbines spin like that before. It's windy, it's not windy. Windy, not windy. Windy, not windy. These custom camera views are as well available in our Discord server in the pilot's briefing room if anyone wants to grab those. Trying to get a view that wasn't obscured by a flappy wing. I'm sure that touchdown looked harder than it actually was. What a great freeware modded airport. You don't get to see all that sort of detail when you're concentrating on the landing. Look at that. So again, available from flightsim.to. Belfast Airport. Alpha Golf Alpha Alpha. Echo Golf Alpha Alpha. Definitely want to recommend. Yeah, Christian, it looks like kind of slow-mo, doesn't it? It will be very interesting to see how the replay tool looks tomorrow. Dwell Funk of the replay is very stuttery, yeah, it's something to do with the way I've got the replay mod set up and the FPS it's trying to capture. But never mind. Right guys, that's it for me today. Tomorrow, well, not sure if there's a stream during the day. There may be a late one. Now, updates normally come out on a Tuesday, which is great for me, as it means that I'm available Tuesday evening to do a nice test flight. I normally have to work on Thursday evenings, and tomorrow is no exception. If things go well, then we may have a late test flight tomorrow evening, but we shall see. I cannot guarantee that, I'm afraid. Thank you very much to everyone who flew alongside us on VATSIM today. Hope you have all enjoyed the flight, and those of you that have donated and contributed to the channel's upkeep, thank you so much. Very, very, very much appreciated. And of course these VATSIM Pilot channel members, and to our new channel member today as well, thank you so much for your continued support. I look forward to chatting with you on the Discord at some point later today as usual, and of course to HD for being our most valuable PM. Hope you guys have enjoyed this afternoon daytime stream. If you have, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and don't forget to turn on that notifications bell. Thanks so much for watching guys. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. Have a great Wednesday everyone. Bye bye.